bonds which have bound together soldiers, sailors, and Marines who united suppressed the late rebellion. What can aid more to assure this result than by cherishing tenderly the memory of our heroic dead who made their breasts a barricade between our country and its foe? Their soldier lives were revel in freedom to race in chains, and their death a tattoo of rebellious tyranny in arms. We should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. All that the consecrated wealth and taste of the nation can add to their adornment and security is but a fitting tribute to the memory of her slain defenders. Let no wanton foot tread rudely on such hallowed grounds. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and found mourners. Let no vandalism of avarice or neglect, no ravages of time, testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten, as a people, the cost of free and undivided labor. If other eyes grow dull, and other hands slack, and other hearts cold in the solemn trust, ours shall keep it well as long as the light and warmth of life remains in us. Let us then, at the time appointed, gather around their sacred remains and garland the passionless mounds above them with choicest flowers of springtime. Let us raise above them their dear old flag they saved from dishonor. Let us in this solemn presence renew our pledges to aid and assist those whom they left among us as sacred charges upon the nation's gratitude, the soldiers and sailors, widowed and orphaned. Section 2. It is the purpose of the Commander-in-Chief to inaugurate this observance with the hope it will be kept from year to year, while a survivor of the war remains to honor the memory of his departed comrades. He earnestly desires the public to call attention to this order and lend its friendly aid in bringing it to the notice of comrades in all parts of the country in time for the simultaneous compliance therewith. Section 3. Department commanders will use every effort to make this order effective. By command of John A. Logan, Commander-in-Chief.
Thank you, Noah. And now we'll have another selection from the Panther Valley Band.
Out of our fathers, three twice. Out of our fathers, Noah, you ready? You. Okay, you brass, you start this out. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go.
Introduce our guest speaker, L. Mark Borough, Sr. Mark L. Borough, Sr. was born in Dayton, Ohio, April 30th, 1957, to Margaret J. Borough. He is the oldest of 9 children. Mark grew up in Illinois, where he worked for local farmers. He was a member of the Future Farmers of America and achieved the Chapter Farmers Award. Mark joined the United States Army in 1976 and took basing and advanced individual training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma for Field Artillery, 13 Bravo. Mark held other occupational specialties throughout his Army career: Transportation Corps, 88M 20, Nuclear and Biological Chemical Corps, 54 Echo. Mark was in support of the Lebanon, Grenada, Honduras, Panama, Somalia, and the Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Mark served 16 years active duty until he was honorably discharged at the rank of sergeant, and 3 years in the Army Reserve until 1996. He served 3 overseas tours, 2 in West Germany and 1 tour in Korea. Mark's highest military awards were the Achievement Medal, Oak Leaf Cluster, Good Conduct Medal with Silver Star or Silver Knot, National Defense Medal with Bronze Star, Korean National Defense Medal, Non-Commissioned Officer Development Ribbon, Soldier's Ribbon, and Overseas Ribbon with the number 3. Mark was a graduate from the Lawton High School in Lawton, Oklahoma in 1976, where he received his high school diploma. He attended the McCann School of Business and Technology, where he graduated as cum laude in administrative office in 2008. Mark is retired correction officer from the PA Corrections from SCI Monoy for 17 years until his retirement in 2006. Currently, Mark works for the Social Security Administration in Wilkes-Barre, Director of Operations Center, as a customer representative since 2008 to the present. Mark joined the American Legion in 1982. He has been a member for over 35 years. Currently Mark is serving as the 13th District Commander for Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, or Schuylkill County. He is a member of Post 309 in Girardville. Mark has served 6 terms as Post Commander, 1 as Vice Commander, 4 terms as Post Adjutant, 13 terms Post Service Officer, 14 terms as 13th District Deputy Commander, 2 terms Eastern Region Judicial Section Adjutant at department level, and many different committees. Highest Legion Award received is the PA Blue Cap Award, which he received in 2006, which Mark was the first Legionnaire in Schuylkill County to receive the honor. We also have the second one with us today, Andy Lieberguth. And Mark is currently married to Beth Ann Wetzel from Shamokin, and they have 3 sons. Beth has 3 sons and 7 grandchildren. They currently live in Fountain Springs. I'd like to present Mark L. Burlisle and his wife Beth.
Thank you, Commander Rick. Good afternoon, Mayor Joel. My wife Beth is there. Here's Joel. Commander Mike from the VFW, Major New, and the crew from the Panther Valley RTC, the Panther Valley Band, the firefighters and EMS from Coaldale, and all members of the Legion family and guests attending. Thank you, and as well as the veterans. Let's not forget them. Scripture tells us there's no greater love than a man than laying down his life for his friend. Today is a special day. It's a day of honor and reverence. It's a solemn day. Today we must recognize the unfortunate fact of life. Our beloved country was formed to protect by the blood of the warriors. Unfortunate as this is, we can be thankful, because over the years America has answered the call every time our way of life has been threatened. No one has succinctly or accurately described what someone puts on the line when they sign a contract to serve in the United States Armed Forces than the legendary General James Mathis from the United States Marine Corps said. Excuse me. In a recent address to the Iraq and Afghan veterans, Mathis articulated, "You sign a blank check, payable with your lives to the American people." With that simple analogy, he captures the moment of the signing when a civilian Department of Defense employee hands a woman or a man a black pen. In a cubicle somewhere in a military processing center, you take the pen, you think nothing of it because you made up your mind. Unbeknownst to many, they seal their fate with the final stroke of that black pen. There are many veterans among us today, including myself, but this isn't our day. Today is the day that we made for the ones who left home but didn't return. We gather in order to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for us and pay them homage as well as their family. Memorial Day is first observed back in May 30th, 1968, after being proclaimed by General John Logan, National Commander of the Grand Army Republic. Logan stated the purpose for observing this holiday was to gather around the sacred remains of our comrades who died in defense of our country. Garland the passionate mounds above them with the choicest flowers of springtime, and raise above them the dear old flag that they saved from dishonor. Logan suggested a respectful and gracious disposition for the day, affirming that we ought to cherish the tender moment of our heroic dead, who made their breast a barricade between our country and its foes. Now I have to ask you, how do we measure the sacrifices spoken by General Logan? We could start by counting the number of deaths in our service to our country, somewhere around about 1,317,109. We can count the number of fathers, brothers, husbands, sisters, or wives that never came home from a war zone. If we envision a military funeral, we can count the number of times the American flag is folded before it's handed to a new widow or widower. We can count the number of shots fired before the flag is received, or the number of notes and taps. Maybe we can count the number of nights that she goes without sleep, and the number of times that he or she asks God, why? Or maybe we can count the tears that they cry. We could count the number of Little League games that the boy's father will not be there for, or the number of walks that a mother will not be able to go with their daughter. If we were able to add all these things up, perhaps it would give us some idea of the sacrifices that have been made for our freedoms. However, in reality, such things are not quantifiable. We cannot count the grief in a mother's heart when she finds out her son or daughter is not returning home from a foreign battlefield. We cannot count the thoughts that goes through the soldier's head as he or she grasps for the last few breaths of air while their buddies try in vain to save their life. Truly, the sacrifice made by the nation's heroes and their families are immeasurable. There are the grim realities of freedom. Freedom ranks amongst the greatest gifts known to man, but like anything of value, it has a price. Those who have lost a loved one in the service of our country are all too familiar with the price that must be paid. They know what it's like to have the worst nightmare come true when they see a government vehicle in front of their house. When the doorbell rings, they already know that two uniformed officers waiting outside are going to say. Those who have not experienced such things will never understand freedom in the way those who have do. But because no one can feel the pain that they have lived through, most Americans then never laid such a sacrifice upon freedom's altar. Hold a very narrow view of what freedom really is. Though our understanding of freedom with which we are provided may be limited, let our gratitude to those who have given their lives to provide it, our compassion for their loved ones be unending. This begs the question, how do we show our gratitude to our men and women in uniform who have given their lives for us? As they are no longer physically with us, surely we cannot verbally thank them except through prayer. It's impossible to know the intentions behind each person's service. Some who gave their lives for this country didn't even volunteer to do so. They were drafted. In what way then can we thank them? There is a way to give gratitude to each man and woman who has died for this country. Regardless for their reason of service, whether they were drafted or whether they volunteered themselves. Making this country something worth dying for is the ultimate sacrifice we can do for them. We each can do this in our own unique way according to our abilities. And when we do it, it redeems their sacrifices. As long as we can bear in mind and act upon it, we are honoring our fallen heroes. But if we as a society do not show gratitude for their sacrifices, their memory fades. They gave the last full measure for us. Their blank checks were cashed. Let us not commit to the injustice of taking their sacrifices for granted. None of our fallen war heroes wanted to die for us. But if these things must happen, let them happen in the name of something befitting of such noble and heroic act. The American Legion has always shown a great pride for our fallen heroes and our unwavering support to those that America sends in harm's way. On the back of our American Legion membership card is the preamble of our organization's constitution. It pledges in part to preserve the memories and incidents of our associations of the great wars. Truly, no American has loved us more than the service member who has offered their last breath to secure which we cherish. Everywhere we go, there are with us. When we take our children to the park for a walk, or when we go to have a birthday party for them, or when they're opening their Christmas presents, please remember, there are heroes watching over them. When you go to a football game on Friday night, you sit around a campfire with a friend, or when you take a loved one on a walk. Give thanks to the warriors standing guard. You will not see them, as their hour has already passed, yet they abide in the recesses of our worldly perceptions. Underneath everything we hold dear is the blood of those whom we owe our deepest respect and fidelity. If you stop and listen closely, not with your ears, but with your hearts, you can hear the whisper of the army of the dead. As they leave behind a life on earth worthy of honor, remembrance, and gratitude, they unceasingly utter the words, "I love you to death." Remember, on May 30th, Monday, the President of the United States has asked all Americans at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to stop what they're doing and give a moment of silence nationwide to remember our fallen heroes who have died forever young. I also want to add one thing. I lost somebody over there too, in Vietnam. This is a very hard day for me, as it will be for the next week or so. I can imagine what the loved ones here who have lost somebody has felt. My sincere, deepest respect and gratitude to you all that have lost somebody in that war, whether it be a family member, a friend, or a loved one. My heart goes out to you. May God bless our fallen heroes, and may God bless America, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Okay, Mark, very touching. And I just listened to it. I didn't listen to your speech in sleep. Too much going on.
I hear you.
Too much going on, but it hit home. On behalf of the Coaldale United Veterans Organizations, the American Legion of VFW Post present this plaque to you, for being our guest speaker. Thank you.
You can hear it good enough, can't you?
But in listening to Mark's speech here, I didn't listen to it in sync. It just, there's too much going on, believe me. It always hits home, and it always reminds me to ask everyone just to say a prayer for those who are serving overseas in Afghanistan, Iraq, and who knows where. That every time at night when you lay down and the oil burner kicks on, just think, this is because of them. We have what we have because of them standing for us. And it's really something very little, just a prayer. I get that from my mother. She was a praying fool. Prayed, and prayed some more, and but that's a good thing. It's not hard to do. Okay. So thank you, Mark. Very good. Right now, we're going to have the roll call of the soldiers dead by Auxiliary Member Janet Kupek, followed by the salute to the dead by the cadets of the Panther Valley Junior ROTC. Janet.
These are the deceased Coaldale veterans since last Memorial Day. Margaret Margie Arner, Vern J. Balliet, Joseph P. Sipko, Thomas J. Dorian, Glenn Flecknoe, Michael J. Frendak, Charles Banty Herring, Russell R. Hill, Andrew Hozak, Stephen Jaker Kasich Jr., Nicholas Mickey King, William D. Nestrak, Margaret M. Pertusi, Martin Mary Pulakovic, Philip J. Price, John M. Jake Mo Williams. If by any chance we missed any Coaldale veteran, we do apologize. If we did, please let us know, and their name will be read next year at the memorial service. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Janet. Thank you, Noah. I have a few announcements here. The Flag Committee recommends that the flags on 3rd Street and Bull Run will remain up after Labor Day, and the Phillips Street will remain up to the 4th of July. Unless there's a very bad storm being called for, we're going to take them down, take the flags down, and then get them back up as soon as possible, depending on how close to the 4th of July it is or the Labor Day. The Flag Committee will be holding a number of fundraisers. They will be posted in the newspaper and on our Facebook line on our Facebook page at the American Legion, if anybody's interested or want to participate. We'd also like to invite everybody to the VFW and the American Legion, and we do mean everyone. This will be a non-smoking event today. It is food and refreshments until about 6 o'clock, so we'd like to see everyone. Please come down and enjoy our post. I'd like to thank everyone for attending today, especially the veterans and the veterans' families. I'd like to thank the VFW and their auxiliary, Major New, and the ROTC cadets. They look great. Mark Christ and the band, a very good selection today. Great job. Rick Morgan, his English department, and the students who read today, thank you very much. Mark Borough and his wife Beth for accepting to speak today on the behalf of the American Legion. We thank you. And Coaldale, thank you, Mark. We thank the American Legion family for their task today and taking part in the service. The bus drivers, Stupa Hauser, a veteran who's been to every memorial service that I've attended. Thank you very much, Stupa. Give you a little bit of what you like. The Machna Ambulance Service, thank you. Coaldale Fire Company and their supporters for being here today and making it a great success. And the people from the Borough Council, thank you for allowing us to have this memorial service. At this time, we will have our benediction by Chaplain Dave Kessler.
God of mercy, guard our homes, churches, and schools, and our entire land, that all within from harm and destruction. Preserve the integrity of this nation founded on religious principles by protecting it from all enemies within and without. Amen.
Here we go.
Okay, that concludes our memorial service with a selection from the Panther Valley Band. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
This is my country. 1, 2, ready, go.